Hey everybody, it's Mr. K, putting together today's tutorial video, give you guys some help with lesson 3.2. And in lesson 3.2, we were learning all about estimating products. All right, so let me type that in for you. All right, so whenever you see the word estimate, estimate means that we're looking for an answer that is not exact. So that means we're looking for an answer that is close to or around. So whenever you see the word estimate, you always want to think of the word round, because that's what we are going to be doing. Okay? And then when you see the word products, products means that we are going to be multiplying. Remember that when you multiply two numbers together, the product is the answer to the multiplication problem. So remember, factor times factor equals product. So we're going to round, and then we're going to multiply in the problems that we have here. Okay, so that's what it means to estimate products. All right, let me clean this up here. Get out of here. Go, go, go. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. All right, so in order to do that, first we have to start with the estimate part. So we have to look at the number 76, and we have to round 76. We have to ask ourselves, is 76 closer to 70? Or is 76 closer to 80? And if I was looking at a number line and I had to figure out where 76 fell on the number line, I would say it's probably right about here, between 70 and 80. So 76 is closer to 80. Okay, so if 76 rounds to 80, then I would rewrite the problem and say 80 times 3. Okay. Now that we have rounded, we will use the rounding part to try to figure out the estimated answer. Again, we're rounding, so we're going to have an estimated answer. Okay, so we're going to use what we learned in the previous video, lesson 3.1, to help us break this down. Okay, we learned that we can break apart 80 times 3, and we can start with, we can start with the basic fact. So we're going to start with the basic fact. We're going to break it down and we're going to say 8 times 3. Okay, so we're going to say 8 times 3, and we're going to group that. And then we have 1 0 here, so we're going to say that's like saying times 10. Okay, so 8 times 3 is what we have here. That's our basic fact. That's what we're multiplying first. And we have 1 0, so we're multiplying by 10 for our second step. All right, so 8 times 3, we should know is 24. Okay, and then 24 times 10 is as simple as 24 times 1, which is 24. And then we have 1 0, and that's our answer. So our estimated answer is 240. Okay, our estimated answer is 240. Again, we rounded first, and then we multiplied, and we used what we learned about the associative property and how to multiply to get a rounded answer. Okay, fantastic. Let's do another one. This time we have the number 491. So 491 is going to be between 400 and 500. So let's think. Is 491 closer to 400 or is it closer to 500? Well, if this was my number line, I would say it's probably right about here. So it's going to be closer to 500. Okay, so my new problem is going to say 500 times 7. 491 rounds to 500. All right, let's use exactly what we did before to help us solve. 500 times 7. So we're going to solve the basic fact first. 5 times 7, and we're going to write that down in our parentheses. So we have 5 times 7. Okay, 5 times 7. And now this time we have 2 zeros. So if we have 2 zeros, that's like multiplying by 100. So 5 times 7 times 100. All right. Well, 5 times 7 is a basic fact. 35. And I just bring down my times 100. So now I have 35 times 100. Okay, well, I know 35 times 1 is 35. And I have 2 zeros this time, so I have to write 2 zeros this time. So I have the answer 3,500. So my rounded answer is 3,500. Okay, so again, like I did in the first one, I rounded and then I multiplied. I rounded and then I multiplied. We're going to do that same thing for the last one. The only difference is the last one's got more digits in it. This one goes up to the thousands place. So we have 3,602 times 5. So 3,602 is going to be between 3,000 and 4,000. Okay, so where do you think 3,602 would be? Well, I look at the 6, I look at the digit to the right, and I see that that 6 is past the middle because a 5 would be in the middle. That means it's probably right about here. So 3,602 is past 3,500, which is in the middle, which means it's going to be closer to 4,000. So 3,602 would round to 4,000. So now I'm going to rewrite my problem. I'm going to write 4,000 times 5. Okay. And we're going to do exactly like we did before. We're going to break it down. We're going to start with the basic fact. 4 times 5. So let's write that. I'm going to group that. I'm going to put 4 times 5. Okay, 4 times 5. Now I see I have 1, 2, 3 zeros. So I'm not going to multiply by 10 because 10 only has 1 zero. I'm not going to multiply by 100 because 100 has 2 zeros. This time I'm multiplying by 1,000 because look, 1,000 has 3 zeros, just like in 4,000. So 4 times 5 times 1,000 is the same as 4,000 times 5. These are the exact same thing, just written a little differently. Okay, so let's solve what's inside the parentheses. I have 20, because 4 times 5 is 20, times 1,000. Oh, I think we can figure this one out. 20 times 1 is 20. And then I have 1, 2, 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3 zeros. But I don't want to leave my number like that. I got to write my comma. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, cha, cha, cha. And I have the number 20,000. Let me just bring this up a little bit. And my answer, my rounded answer is 20,000. All right. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of help with estimating products. Estimating products when we round to the nearest 10. Estimating products when we round to the nearest 100. And estimating products when we round to the nearest 1,000. So stay tuned. You'll have a homework help video as well that will give you a little bit more practice with this skill.